Good afternoon, everybody. This is Big Hammer, your favorite lover.
Hey, can't catch no more.
Today we're going to talk about the Chronomancer. The Chronomancer in World versus World. Eyes rolling. Fuck y'all. All right. So yeah, Chronomancer. Your job is boon rip, CCs, all the good stuff, pulling enemies together like this. The build. Post it. This is the meta build. This is the build pretty much everybody's running. We got a few of our little tweaks. You can see it. You can use it. That's what I'm using right now. We are in full minstrel's gear, durability runes. For all of our trinkets, all of our weapons, everything is minstrel. We're going to be using two nullification sigils, one in your shield, one in your focus. We are using a scepter. The reason we use a scepter is because number one skill generates your clones. It's very hard to generate clones as a chronomancer with the skills we have. We're using mimic, illusion of life, no feel, and gravity weld. None of those generate clones, so we're using the scepter to constantly keep clones up. Because the clones, what do? They decrease your damage that you take, and also it rips the boons. So more clones, guess what? More boon rip. So we'll talk about the utility skills first. We will be using the whale as a heal. Look, one of our catapults. Huh. It's still there. Shit, who's refreshing it? Anyway, we're going to talk about, we use the Whale of Eternity. Since the nerf of the Scrappers, this is a big help. I spam that whenever we're in combat on the commander. If I'm commanding, I just put it on myself, and you just spam that in the group, and you'll notice that it does 5 targets, and it does 3 pulses. It cleanses conditions pretty damn good. So you throw that on there. Next is a combo that we use. We use Mimic with Null Field. Those two are used together. Null Field, the next utility skill you use has significantly reduced recharge. So try it. So hit Mimic first. You see it gives you an echo. You got 9 seconds. Throw down Null Field, and then boom, it's immediately ready again, and you can throw it again. That's how you rip a bunch of boons using your Mimic plus Null Field.
Do you throw the null fields on top of each other, or do you space them out?
It depends. So if there's a tight group here, okay. Now let's use this example over here. So if there's a tight group here, okay, you will null field on top of arrow twice. But if there's people here, here, and they're kind of spread out, then I will hit them there, or there and there. I try to hit the middle of the group, not the front, because the front usually has the most protection. That's where everybody's going to be stacked on tags. So you know when there's a tail, that's usually DPS back here. Hardly ever support is way back here. Why? Because DPS is scared. They're squishy. So they're usually either here or around this area. So I like to attack the middle. That's a prerogative. You can test it out. If you have Arc installed, you can see how many strips you do and say, oh, I'll do that differently. Because a lot of times when you cast it on the tag, it just says evade, and you do absolutely nothing. So, because they have all their boons up, and some of the boons you just cannot penetrate, or they're dodging. So you have to. So I mainly place it in the middle of the group in that situation, like around here, these two. I might hit the front group first, and then this group here after. So you just have to play with it and see what's comfortable with you. Smooth. The last utility we have is Illusion of Life. That is very important. We use it to keep our people. It gives them a second chance if they're dropped on downstate. It only does 3 targets. Now, if you're good, really good, I'm not really good. I'm mediocre good because of where the placement is. So they've changed Continuum Split to F5 now, which is quite a difference from F4 with keys. I don't know if it bothers people, but it's a longer stretch for me with F5. If you have maximum clones up, you can hit your Continuum split, and that will give you 6 seconds if you have all clones up. And then you throw on your Illusion of Life, and when your Continuum Split is done, you're going to return to the beginning of where you casted the Continuum Split. You are going to return to that location, and then you will have your Illusion of Life back if you do it quick enough. It's very, very fast. You can try it if you want to. Let's skip this camp. Straight to the center. So you can try it right now. So hit your continuum split, then hit and then immediately drop Illusion of Life. I got nothing. Both of them are on CDR because I had no clones up. So if you have no clones whatsoever, you have almost 2 seconds. So you have to be fast if you have no clones. Very important to always keep your clones up. That's those little bitty dots above your F skills. You want to make sure you have maximum clones up before you try to do that. If you don't, and we really just need you to use illusion, then throw the illusion down and just move on. Pump out your F skills, give yourself alacrity. Because all of your F skills, every single one of them give alacrity. The F skills. This is where your boon rip comes from. Every one of the F skills will rip some kind of boon. They just gave us F4 back, which is nice. Distortion is very strong, especially in World versus World. That's going to be the first F skill you're going to hit, your F4. That damage reduction and the yeah, it's immune to condition. Excuse me. Take this out. So you want to hit your F4 first. Your F1 in this build, it becomes a, it's kind of like a shotgun, I guess you could say. You got 2 shots. And every time you cast an F skill, if you hover over it, you see the radius is 240. So 240 is about to here from tag. Maybe a little closer, maybe around right there. So in melee range, every time you hit an F skill, it also hits it on the enemies. A lot of times whenever I pull an enemy, let's say here, pull an enemy, boom, pull them, I hit like a bunch of my F skills on them because it removes all the bone. Every F skill removes at least 1 boon. And with the operation of your sigils, you're ripping more boons. So you got to go through your F skills. You don't want to burn them all. You don't want to blast them all, but you want to use them conservatively. Whenever it's ranged, you want to hit your F1. Just keep using your F1. You know, it recharges very, very quickly. In melee, I blow them all. They come back very quickly because you're giving yourself alacrity. All right, is that camp about ready now? Nah. Let's go down.
There was another catapult outside this other wall.
Oh, was there on the other side?
Yeah, on the little island side.
Any questions about the F skills and the utilities? None? Okay. Your elite spell. This is a very, very powerful CC. The only problem with it is that you have to rip boons in for it to be effective. Passing Gravwell out the gate is bad. Your Gravwell will get wasted. Everybody has stability. Everybody has boons. You basically just throwing your elite spell out there and doing nothing. So the best thing to do is during the middle of the fight, cast your Gravity Well on the group. Make sure right after you null feel them. It's a good practice. You can learn that practice. Never use your elite skill on mobs or bosses or anything like that. You save that specifically for a group. It does target 5 enemies. It also gives you alacrity. Also does damage, also does 3 pulses. Everybody in this game has been hit by a Gravity Well and you're like, what the fuck was that? It's a Gravity Well. Very, very powerful. Save it. Use it when you can. Use it in the best situation as possible.
So that's what you use to pull people off the walls too, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Gravity Well is used on the ground only. Never. Sometimes, okay, I will use it on a wall if there's like 3 or 4 people crowded around a cannon or something like that and people are damaging the cannon. Then what I'll do is like if the cannon's right here, then what I'll do is I'll put my curtain down, pull them, and then Gravwell them up there, and because you're already damaging that area. But as you see, you have a 1-minute cooldown, even though you give yourself alacrity on your Gravity Well. So you want to be conservative with that. No, we'll talk about that now though. We don't own this tower, even though it's blue. The weapons. Any questions about Gravity Well? Any wells? Oh,
Yes, sir.
that's cute. Well, let's see who wins. All right. So the scepter. We talked about the scepter briefly. Your skill number 1 puts torment on the enemy. You don't do a lot of damage, but putting torment on them, guess what? Freaks them out. It also causes him to have to use skills to get it off of him because it's torment.
Gods is on the other side of this tower.
I know. They said it in squad chat. Thank you. Number 2 does a block. I never use it. I don't ever hit it. So you can try it if you want to. I don't like the way it does. I don't think it blocks a lot, to be honest with you. So, whatever. If you want to hit it, hit it. Number 3. I use number 3 all the time. Number 3 causes confusion. It's 900 range, but it beams towards the enemy and really damages them. It's a good damage. I love it. I use it as much as I can. It's a single target damage, but it's really, really good. And the confusion it gives is excellent. Number 5 on the focus. That is a 1200 range phantasm. So it just basically does a clone for you. They throw axes. They do some damage, but it's just to get your clone values up. Now, the best one. The best skill on the Mesmer. Out of all the skills,
Delete.
the temporal curtain. The temporal curtain is your pull. That's what you use to pull off of walls, pull out of zergs, pull, 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 pull. You can put it down at 900 range, and it pulls at 600. That is far, and it pulls 5 targets into the center. When I
Do you
play
have auto targeting on for that or no?
auto targeting for temporal curtain, no.
Yeah.
No. So temporal curtain works very funny on walls. Everybody always asks how you pull people off of walls. I put the temporal curtain almost on the ground. So if somebody is up here, let's say on top of this thing, I'll put it like right there. See if you can see my curtain. Something like this. See that? If you put it at the top, you have us here a talk. Pull high, pull low. You have to work with your other chronos sometimes. If they're far back, say they're on the steps on the top of a wall, pulling high will get them off the steps, and then the chrono behind them will pull low, and that'll get them on the ground and your feet where you need them. Watch out for lips. You're gonna have it's really difficult to get the hang of it, so you just have to keep trying at it and see where you got to put the curtain. Fun stuff though. I always try to pull in people on the tag. Mainly I try to pull, I give y'all markers, and that's whenever y'all try to hit people that we pull out, is I'm pulling them with temporal curtain. Now, you don't use mimic on any of these skills because mimic only applies to utility skills. Save your mimic only for null field. Don't use it on anything else. So don't think that you can all of a sudden start pulling like crazy all over the place and I'm gonna pull 10 enemies all the way in our feet. It's not gonna happen. Thank God. Can you imagine
Unless they're a necro.
Can you imagine if that was broken? Also, temporal curtain is a speed. So if you just throw it on the ground, you don't hit it again, it gives you speed. When you hit it again, it does the pull. Yep, that's swiftness. There you go. And you cancel it by hitting it again. To pull people, you have to cast it. It puts it on the ground, then you have to hit it again in order for them to pull the enemies. Let's kill this person and the veteran. Is that a daily?
The person
sir.
sure is.
All right. Pull him. We're mean. Let him go. Get your hits.
What you mean let him go?
We
He's
just
dead.
pulled him.
Get this veteran.
I love Rangers.
Over to shield. I use shield quite a bit. I know I'm always pulling people, but I'm mainly in shield, especially for pushes. The number 4 skill is a block skill. It's very, very good. Whenever I tell y'all get ready to push, I'm in shield and I'm hitting number 4 and I'm taking no damage whatsoever. So I'm just walking through the enemies. That only lasts for so long, but it's very effective. Number 5, very good. They just added us might to this. So now, instead of alacrity, how long on RI here? Smooth. Go up top. This
Okay,
is
so
what
you can move while you're blocking with the shield 4.
Yes. They hit it. Oh, you don't. If you're not on. Look. See.
Good to know.
That 1.5 seconds that it gives you is a lot. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. And then the number 5 skill, like I said, they gave us might and swiftness on it that wasn't there before. They only had alacrity. So I cast that on the Rams. And not only that, when it comes back to you, it gives you alacrity and might. Look, we got 10 stacks of might just right here. Not only that, it interrupts enemies. So in melee form, I'll blast that into the group. It interrupts them. So what happens when you interrupt the enemy? You rip boons. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the chrono. Just got to use it, got to play with it. It's very strong. It's good times. It's my favorite class to play in World versus World. I love it. When I found this, I said, that's my baby. So I'm in shield right now because I'm building concentration, killing enemies. You can try that. You can get some more concentration if you want to, if you want to run concentration sigils, but nullification will do you better and you will rip more boons. Because that is your job. You rip people's clothes off.
It's one hell of a magic power.
Giggity.
Giggity. Alright, so when is this gonna flip? Am I missing something? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, something popped for a second there that slowed it down.
That was weird.
So the spark.
Oh, it was another spark.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very simple, very easy. We already have windfall. Get on your mount. Get on your mount. Do it. Oh, yeah. You have to just watch. Make sure you always have windfall before you try that. You can only get it if you own this keep and 2 of the shrines. If you hover over the shrines, they'll tell you what they give you. 1 shrine activates the air jumps, 2 shrines activates windfall, and 3 activates the eagle cloud. That's what we're going to do. So curtain right here, pull them together for everybody. There you go. Group them up nice and
Holy
pretty.
shit. Did you see my damage burst when you popped them all together?
Nope.
I did 21k damage
Oh,
per second.
Yeah, that's noticeable.
let's take the clouds. I got to do this when I come here. Oh, baby. So yeah, that'll do it for the class. I mean, questions. You can stay on it. We're gonna swap to our classes so we can get our comp going, and we'll move to probably go to EBG. I'm sure. I don't think Spitty's gonna join us today.
Do you ever throw in staff this build?
Never. Staff is more Condi
Condi.
damage.
But if you are on staff, if you like staff, do the field number 3 and number 4. You get the shield. It's very useful.
So I use I will pop my clones even. So that's a good question. So your clones do not have a lot of health. Your clones will die all fast. Okay. So if I have as many as 1 clone, yes, I will hit my F1 skill. But I will only hit my F skills if I have clones. I will not do it without clones because you're only gonna you have to be 240 radius. So yeah, make sure you have a clone, at least 1. The more, the better. That's why I cast. Well, put that son of a bitch on auto cast and just cast clones everywhere. It helps you and you rip more boons.
How do you do that?
Yes, you only need 1 scepter.
You hold down control and right click on the mouse.
Yeah, if you hover over it, it tells you. Control plus mouse 2 disable auto attack or whatever.